Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So far, I've done the entire driver's side. The hood is nearly done. I got a couple areas on there. The trunk is done. I haven't done the roof yet, only because I still haven't gotten the key back from the locksmith on the trunk. So that basically means I can't lift the trunk up, which means I can't get this panel off, which means I can't get these strips off. So it may be better to flip the car around and work on all of that from the front here where I have a little bit more room anyway. So what I'll do is I'll put the ramps down here. I'll get this out, turn it around, put it back in, work on the passenger side while I wait for the key to be made. Yeah, this is airy. I like this. Let's see if it'll start. I think everything is hooked up. Starts and runs just fine. This is so cool. I think I want to keep it this way. One thing that I'm gonna do while I wait is I'm gonna put tape on the areas that need attention now that the sun is out and I can see everything clearly. Kind of like down here, I have two spots that need a little bit more filler. I can see that I'm gonna need a little bit more here and here. All of the low spots basically, like darker than the rest of the area, but not primer and paint. This is gonna need a little bit of attention up here, here. Maybe even a little bit right there, but I feel like I can sand all of this down to kind of get it down. Yeah, so let me do that. All right, so now I got everything flipped around and in the garage, and I'm very interested to see what's going on here. If you take a close look, you'll see that rust has already started to form. This seems like it's been a repair that was done a long time ago. So first order of business is probably taking this off and taking a look behind here and seeing if there's any crash damage that has been pushed out or the metal looks wavy behind this vent, because you can see the other side of this panel from inside here. So let's pop that off. We'll start to tear down the entire door assembly, and I'll catch you up after I see what I can find. Starting off on the teardown, there's a weather strip channel that I have to remove and some black T-top trim that also has to come off. I'm just using my heat gun to take all that off. On the inside, I'm removing the quarter panel glass. Take a close look at this. Yeah, all of that butyl tape. It looks like a mess, but it's really easy to clean. So I just use my chisel and get all of that off. Now I'm turning my attention to the passenger side door. And there's 6 11mm bolts just to take off the door. I'm using my 1/4 inch ratcheting wrench, but you can also use a power tool just to zip everything off. And once I get some separation there, I can remove the wiring harness and get everything unplugged. I'm using my jack and my jack stand to balance the door and get that lift. Now everything is off, I'm taking a quick look. Things look pretty good. Only minor rust. So there are 3 things you have to remove from every door to get it ready for paint. First is the weather stripping. Second is the glass, and third are the window sweeps. The window sweeps are the felt material that you feel that ride across the window from the inside and outside of the door. Once you have those off, we can start to attack the bodywork and rust. All right, so this door is pretty stripped down. Let me walk you through what I took off. I took the seal off of the door, exposed one area that I'm gonna need to give some attention to. Let's see. I found one piece of like this piece right here. There's supposed to be a bracket that goes over here for the window track. That's missing. So I gotta investigate and get a replacement of that. These window seals, they're pretty much trash. Or felt, window felt is probably the technical name. Let's see what else. We got the accordion grommet taken off. And oh yeah, we got the door off of the entire car. So the glass came out. There's just 5 bolts on the back side of that. That's real easy. The butyl tape, which is what they call that adhesive that you saw, that it cleans up really nicely, really easy. It's better than urethane in my opinion. So I was able to get that cleaned up. This area of rust, I need to turn some attention to that, but that and the door side, that's gonna get fiberglass. I'm not gonna replace that with metal. And I'll go into more detail on why I decided that as well. Turn our attention to here. I know I was concerned a little bit earlier about how that looks behind the panel. It's gonna be difficult for you all to see. Let me take you down in there. So, looks pretty good. No damage. So, absolutely nothing to worry about on that. So, next steps. I'm gonna wire wheel this entire piece, well, this entire door, get all of that scale and rust off. I'll do the same thing to down here. I have to lift the car up in the air and get the moldings off, like this bad boy and the one on the other side. Get those off, and then I can start to sand down the entire panel with 80 grit and then start the body filler routine. So let's get after it. Oh, and during the time lapse, I found this inside of the seal that was sitting right here. Not sure why that's a thing. Not sure if it's just like some kid was playing around, but there was one on the other side too. So I don't think lead does anything for these cars, but in any case, let's get after it. All right, so the door turned out really good. It's a lot more solid down here than Astra Roof was, so I'm pretty happy with that. I can rush treat this, and then this will be good to go. There's no flexing, no weak points in the metal, so we're good there. Here, I'm gonna have to build this out. I'm probably gonna use fiberglass to take care of that. It's got, it's got a gaping hole right here. And good part is I can somewhat access the back side of it. I feel like this door has been off before because what I'm seeing on the bottom is that they use some coating, maybe anti-seize, to prevent rust, but they didn't do it on the top side. It's so weird. I found the same thing on the hinge side when I popped everything off, so I don't know. I'll just clean that up. This is pretty clean. I'm gonna try to get behind there and clean up some of that tube, maybe blow it out and treat it, because we don't want rust coming back. While I had the wire wheel out, I attacked this. Don't really recommend it because this is not the right tool to use on this, but I was just curious to see what's going on here. It looked like there was some sort of repair done here though. What I'm feeling are 2 flat spots in the metal, so maybe they use a stud welder to pull it out and they got to this point and then they just put mud over it, you know, Bondo. But we'll do it right. We'll grind it all the way down. This is going to be an area where we're going to have to take it all the way down to metal, trying to undo the damage that somebody's done previously, and then we'll build it back up right. The rest of the quarter panel needs some attention, as you can tell from all the markings. Nothing we can't handle. All right, so it is the next day. I am working on the trim on the passenger side rear. And I want to show you all something that's really cool. I'm bringing back out my impact screwdriver set, and I'm going to use this to get down and get these Phillips heads out. Now, it's going to be real easy. I'm going to show you how to do the first one, and then I'll just do the rest off camera. But you want to get right in here. You want to make sure everything is straight and level. Oh, first of all, you want to make sure it's in reverse mode. So if you push these two against each other, you can choose the direction that you want it to go. Right now it's in reverse mode. So I just get it right lined up. And then that's enough to start twisting it for you. So now you can come back by hand and hopefully it'll reverse for you just like it is now. So I'm gonna get the rest of these smacked up and working, and we'll keep on going. All right, with that trim piece out of the way, I can turn my attention to some body work. If you look real close, let me get you in a little bit closer. You got that scrape there. This contour is okay. I can grind that down and that'll be fine. But the ding that's right here on this plane, it's a little too far in. So I brought my stud welder out. I'm gonna take care of that with it. And then over here, I need to grind all of this down to metal, see how bad it is, and see if I need to use the stud welder on that to get back out. So let's do that right now. So take a look. Here, there were pretty bad indentations, but now everything is nice and flush. Turning my attention to the passenger side door, I did spray some rust converter near the edge. You see that in black toward the right side of the screen. And from there, I'm just putting a really light skim coat on to try to get the door as smooth as possible. Everything is less than 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just gonna coat everything lightly. I'll keep my body lines because those are perfect. And from there, I can start sanding. And at this point, sanding is going really, really well. There are just some touch-up areas I'm working on the driver's side door. Now I'm working on a passenger side door, using my crisscross pattern, being really safe, not touching the edges. And things are going relatively smoothly. But then I noticed the circuit breaker keeps popping and my air compressor keeps going off. Well, I started sanding that door, the rest of that door, and this door. Wasn't able to get to this quarter panel because my air compressor gave up the ghost. It keeps tripping my circuit breaker, and I think it's actually something wrong with the compressor itself. So we're gonna have to stop sanding for tonight. I can let that cool off and try to hit it again in the morning, see what's up. If not, I gotta go compressor shopping. Oh, I don't know if y'all just heard that. It just clicked off. So I don't know if there's some type of thermal protection because it's really hot to the touch, but every time it clicks off after a few minutes of, shutting off the circuit breaker, it'll work for about 3 seconds and then it'll go right back off again. So I don't want to risk anything. I'm going to stop right now, let it cool off. It's been working hard all day. So have I. And we'll try to get this quarter panel tomorrow. You really want to try to sand these as quickly as possible because the longer it sits, the harder it gets, and that means the longer it'll take to sand off. But don't really have much of a choice. I am glad I got this door almost down. There's just a couple areas, like from here over, you can see these vertical stripes. That means that I haven't evened it out yet. But everything over here for the most part is done. It's just this little section. Over there had some pinholes that I needed to fill in. So I just took some really light, it was mixed with a lot of resin, some body filler, and I was able to smooth that out. I was either going to use, finishing putty or another round of body filler, and I was able to get that down with body filler. I'm all out of body filler too, so yeah. Let me stop rambling, and we'll pick it back up again in the morning. All right, so it's been a few days and I just got back from Baldino's. There's a few locations all around the Virginia area, so if you're looking for somebody to be able to take care of, rekeying or even getting a key made for the lock of your Buick or any other vehicle, they're the people to talk to. And he charged me only $60, so he came out really, really good. And it was a lot less than I expected and a lot less than other people have been quoting me. So I am on my way back home right now, and you will find out with me what the trunk of the Buick looks like. I have not taken a look yet. We we all get to find out together what it's like. So let me zoom on home. All right, so I'm back, and I'm a little bit nervous about this. So I don't know what's in the trunk. I bought this thing maybe 10 months ago. I don't know what's in here. I could have just wasted 60 bucks because if somebody switched the key on me, if somebody changed the locks on this thing, then this key will only open up one door. So let's see. And if you notice, there's a little bit of a push in there, so I don't know, somebody may have been messing around with it. Oh, I'm nervous. Okay, all right. Let's see. Uh-oh, it works, it works. Oh. Okay, let's see what we got here. Looks like carpet. A little moldy. Looks like a little mold. I think that's the entire carpet for the inside. If I wanted to go sand brown. I'm glad I didn't order carpet for it. What else we got in here? We got our SPID label. Awesome. Wait. Is that it's a motorized trunk latch. I don't have a button for it up front, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Weird. But I got a spare that looks original. It's been driven. Yeah, this looks like good carpet. T-top bags. Nice, nice. Trunk pan looks to be in good condition. I could tell from the underside of it was in pretty good condition. All right, nice and jet black underneath here. We got some build up here, but everything looks good. My weather stripping seal is in good condition. It's a mountain of dust that I've been sanding down. Everything looks legit. Whew, okay. Okay, so it could have been worse. I was hoping to find some interior parts, some other parts that I may have needed for this car just sitting in the trunk, like door panels, T-top panels, all of that stuff, but unfortunately not. But we do have carpet, so that is one thing. That's one expense that I'm spared. I wasn't exactly planning on going that color, that light color for carpet, but it's there and it's free, so why not? But hey, at least that's taken care of. I trust that this will open the driver's side door as well, or the passenger side lock. I took the driver's side lock when I took it over to the lock shop, so I'm just glad to see all of this works. And maybe in like episode 1 or 2, I already switched out the ignition key, because on these cars, there are different keys from doors versus ignition. I'd be curious to see if this works in the glove box. It should. Sometimes there's a different version of the key for that. Okay. That works. One less thing to worry about. All right, back to the sanding. All right, so it's a few days later, and like I said earlier, my compressor gave up. It is no longer with us, and I've still got a lot of work left to do on T-top, so I don't want to slow down things too much. So I went over to Harbor Freight and I picked up another truckload of stuff. So let's see what I got. Yes, so I got a new air compressor here. I'm excited to try this new Fortress model out. It's supposed to be a lot quieter than what I'm dealing with right now. Capacity is a little bit lower than the 30-gallon that I currently have, but this came out, I believe, in 2019 or 2020, and it's supposed to be really good. The reviews are really strong on this one. In case you're looking for a model number, there it is, 57336. Let's set it up. It's oil-free, so I don't need to bother with refilling it. I like low-maintenance models, so let's get it in there. All right, so here it is all set up. It is so quiet. Shocking compared to this. This doesn't even sound like an air compressor. The tools that run off of this are louder than the actual compressor. So very happy with it. Now for volume, I am running both tanks. So I have, 56 gallons in combined volume, but I'm only running this motor. So I'm not running this motor anymore. So it'll be nice and quiet. It'll just take a little bit longer for it to build up pressure, but it goes all the way up to 155. And I'm happy with it for now. Let's get back to the Buick action. All right, so we've gotten to a point now where everything has been blocked with 80 grit, and it's starting to look good. I can say I'm pretty close to the point where I can get primer on the car. But now that I have the trunk open, like I said earlier in the video, I can now start to take this off with I believe there are 4 bolts underneath here. So I believe they're 6 or 7 millimeter, probably 7 millimeter. I'll get those off, then I can get this trim off, and then I can get this glass out. All right, so it's another day. I'm finally getting back to work on this. I know it's one video for you all, but it's been probably close to about 4 weeks for me on this thing. And after counting it, I'm about 40 hours in as far as body work goes. Just a couple hours before work, after work, on weekends, holidays, things of that nature. But we're finally at the point now where it's roughed in with 80 grit. Everything is nice and smooth as far as I can tell. And I'm gonna clean up the shop a little bit because it is really dusty in here. I gotta clean out the car because that's awfully dusty. And then there's a lot of parts from the teardown that I need to clean up, get out. Probably gonna organize everything in the trunk or in storage. I don't like a lot of mess. And the fact that I only have so much space in here, it only exemplifies how bad it is when there's a bunch of stuff sitting around. So I'm gonna move it outside, clean it off, clean the shop up a little bit, and then bring it back in. Far from done on the body work. There's a couple of really interesting things that I want to do custom on the car. So I'll show you that, but it'll probably be in the next episode. So thank you for watching. Talk to you next time.